So you've got a notebook and you're trying to figure out what to do with it. Some of y'all have notebooks and you want to fill it up with quadratic equations and you want to turn it into graph paper and draw little squares on there and connect the dots, and you want to use it as a planner and an organizer. That's not the type of notebook I'm talking about. I'm talking about a notebook where you get to make decisions for yourself. Every single word, you get to decide. I'm talking about a notebook where you see things that you never saw before, or that you saw before in a blink of an eye that got buried in your subconscious. And the notebook is there to unpack that stuff. The only way this writer's notebook is going to work is if you're honest with yourself. And if you know the difference between when you're just filling up pages and when you're really following a train of thought. Know the difference when you're BSing yourself and when you're truly onto something with your writing. The only way this is going to work is if you do this at least 5 times a week. The more you do it, the better. Just like an athlete, the more they practice, the better they get. The more you practice your writing, we call it getting in the chair. But I don't care where you write. You don't have to sit in a chair. Some people compose poems by walking. Other people compose poems laying down. If you don't want to call your writing poems, fine. If you want to tell the truth, fine. If you want to lie, fine. The important thing to understand is you're going to spend your whole life trying to figure out you. You don't come easy to you. And if you think you have yourself figured out, why don't you just make double sure? By focusing on your writing. Just make sure you got yourself all figured out. And see what's under there. And don't be afraid to be honest. And don't be afraid to sound stupid. And don't even be afraid to say something in your journal that you disagree with. Your journal is not a social media post. Your journal is a record. Your journal is a parachute. And you just keep on drifting and drifting, and you never touch ground until your journal is finished and you have to get a new one. Your journal is the place where you write down all the things that everybody else is too busy to see. Writers see what the world misses. The people around you, they're missing some things right now. What are they missing? Write it down. I'm doing 2 things at once right now. I'm talking to you, and I'm exploring an area in Cibola National Forest called Luna Park, a place I've never been before. I've never walked here before. I've never seen this before. Where is the Luna Park of your subconscious? What do the rocks look like in your subconscious? If you work hard enough in your journal and you focus, and by focus I mean release all sense of control and direction and hopes. If you release all sense of agenda and you just see what words tumble out, maybe you'll find the Luna Park of your soul. The one thing I know for sure is nobody has the same journal. Let each of your words curve and wrap next to each other like the lines of your fingerprint. They say art imitates life. Well, life is pretty sad, isn't it? But life is also an exploration. And every moment happens to be a place that you've never been before. Every single moment happens to be a place